Hey guys, it's JackelWolf back in the garden again, weekend of June the 9th. As you can see, it is not shaping up to be a very good weekend. I've heard that we're supposed to get about 30 millimeters of rain tomorrow, a little bit more this evening. It's not supposed to rain during the day, but those clouds are telling me something different, so I thought I would do a garden poke, and then I might try to get some stuff done outside before before it starts to rain, and then I can work in my greenhouse for a little bit as well. We're kind of at the point where there's not a lot for me to showcase anyways, so a lot of these videos are probably going to go scale down to just sort of garden pokes. At least until I do something a little bit interesting. I do want to talk a little bit more about the onions when I get to planting next year's crop, which should be in a couple of weeks. Plus, once I get to harvesting and things like that, I definitely want to start showcasing that stuff off. So let's head around the garden. So my onion bed definitely needs a good weeding. As well, I've noticed a lot more of these are starting to send out the little flower stalks. So far, I'm not too panicked. It hasn't been that large of a sampling. They've all been in this bed here, which isn't super strange because this is the one that defrosted first. I haven't seen one in here yet. But right now I've decided, my initial plan was to plant next year's onion seeds halfway through June. I think I might push it back a week, and just to see if I can't reduce this number of ones that are bolting, I guess might be a way of talking about it. Potatoes I'm assuming are still doing good. This is the ones we hilled up last week with the straw. I gave them a good watering yesterday. I know we had rain on the menu for tomorrow, but I've learned in the past you can't rely on the weather. There's a lot of times when I say, oh, it's going to rain, I'm not going to water today, and we never even see that rain. So, or it's like a millimeter or even less. So definitely lots of little weeding I've got to do around here. I got some pricklies in the back there I got to get up, but you can see the beans are doing really good. The peas are starting to sprout up. You can see they're grabbing on. You give a little helping hand on some of these. They're starting to grab on to the twine that I put in there, so they're going to start creeping up, which is good. It's what I want. This is the first bed of potatoes. They still, again, oh, actually, look at that. You can see some of the potatoes have come up right next to the onions. I should have expected that. That would have been the one that I had right here. But they've pushed up already. They're looking really good. I expect by the end of this week, they should all be pushed through both of the beds, at least a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to hill it up one more time or not. There seems to be quite a bit of straw there, so we may be okay. Plus, like, we are behind on the schedule for this year, so I don't want to stunt them any more than I have to, because it's already it was June 9th, so I mean we're almost halfway through June. So I don't want to push this any longer than I have to. Carrots are really starting to look good. I did do a good weeding on this last week, and obviously it wasn't good enough. I should have pulled a lot of these weeds right out. Just gonna help that guy sit up a bit. He's kind of stuck in the mud there. Garlic is doing really good. Multiplier onions in there are doing really good. I only just side dress them, so I'm not going to do it yet, but I think actually, to be honest, I could be harvesting garlic in about a month. It's usually middle of July to early August that the garlic is ready. That's one of the first things that are completely done in my garden, at least on a mass scale. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. I don't know if I'll get a chance to side dress them again, but I think they're doing really good. They look really, really good in here. These are the ones that I got from BC. They were really, really tiny, so I'll probably have to replant these all again for next year, just to try to get a bigger bulb out of them. I think they were a wild garlic. And last week there were no flower heads on these onion stalks. Now we've got a couple. This is the onions I left in the... These are the onions I left in the garden because I wanted to get seed from them. So those are going to sprout up. They're going to open up into a big round white ball. Very, very nice. I've always thought about putting onions out in my front yard just because they got such a nice little bloom to them. Another bed that could really, really, really use good weeding. But the beans are doing really good. I got like two spots here where they didn't actually grow. Not the end of the world. I may stop by a garden center and find a transplant of something and just toss it in there just to fill up the space. It's certainly not going to hurt me to have one or two missing spaces anyways, but definitely got to get in here and do some weeding. This lettuce is doing really good. We've actually had some of this already. I've thinned it down. I think I got one or two more in here to thin down on. Probably do that for our next meal. Cabbage, I think, is doing good. Like I said, it's my first time growing it, so I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see how that goes. And this is the bed that I absolutely positively have to get into. You can't even really see the onions. I can. I doubt you'll be able to see them on the camera. The leeks are a little bit more obvious. They definitely don't look anything like grass, but the onions in here are, I'm going to assume, are very, very tough to see. This is not my best bed. The little privacy screen behind me really kind of shades it a little bit. It's probably one of the last beds to kind of defrost in the winter, in the spring. I've grown things in here before, but I've never had a good harvest of anything. So back in the greenhouse, this is where I probably will spend most of my time today or tomorrow, depending on how the weather is. There's a bunch of stuff I got to get into pots. You can see it has grown up quite a bit since we transplanted it. This is the jalapeno pepper. So I'm quite happy about that. I got to get these guys into different pots. Some are going to go out into the garden. Some are going to stay here in the greenhouse. These tomatoes are actually doing really good as well. Got a couple of those suckers we talked about last time. I'm just going to pick them off. It helps to wait until they're a little bit big. Also, because I still want these things to grow up, here's some little flower heads. I'm going to pick these off probably for the next week. Just so I want the plant to focus on growing up. Once it gets, say almost to the top here, I'll let it start growing flowers. Probably up to about here, because again, we are a little behind, but I do get a couple extra weeks out of my greenhouse, simply because it does stay pretty warm in here. You can see, according to my thermostat, the lowest has been is 5 degrees in here, and the highest has been is 45. So I should actually just reset that. We're sitting at 20 degrees right now. I think the weather report said it was about 15 outside, even with it being such a heavy cloud cover. It's been a pretty warm day. This is the bell pepper that we transplanted. It seems to be doing really, really good. Seems to be growing anyways. Similar to the peppers, I'll be pulling any suckers off of it, and I'll be keeping the any sort of flower buds that start forming. I'll be taking them off until it grows up to a good height. That way it's got a lot more, it's not wasting energy when it could be putting it into its roots and its stalk. And then this one here, we already kind of looked at him, but he is doing pretty good. Is that, I don't know if you can see that. I can see a sucker right there. There we go. Pull that off. So I'm not going to bother with the apple trees right now. They're not doing anything this year, so there's no point in me going by and saying, yep, they're not doing anything this year. There are a couple of apples out there, but nothing super exciting. I did want to show in here, these are the raspberries and the strawberries. You can see we're getting some really, really nice strawberry bushes this year. Actually, I think this is some of the biggest strawberry bushes I've seen in this garden anyways. I think it helped that I threw down some of that composted straw. I think it's giving it a nice little nutrient boost. The raspberries are doing really, really good. There's a bumblebee right there. I don't want to get too close. Any gardener knows you want to see these guys in your garden. Creative Kitty 09 really, really hates them, mostly because she's scared of them. I don't know if you can see him in there. There we go. There's a mosquito there. There you go. So he's going to be probably the hard worker of the day. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to get done. Okay, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I may showcase one or two things if I come across anything interesting that I'm going to do this weekend. But like I said, it doesn't look like I'm going to get a lot done. And we're kind of at that point where it's a lot of maintenance rather than anything new and interesting. But sooner or later, we will be getting into some more interesting stuff again. So we'll do a couple more showcase pieces inside of these videos, but for now, I think that's going to be it. I am JackelWolf. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye! And the Ferris rot knot, which is the
rot knot.
Furious.
Furious.
I know it's not furious. It's furious.
Furious.
It's not furious.
Furious.
It's spelled differently.
Ferris.
No, it's Ferris.
No,
it
it's
has to